How to get well from the inside out. This is for Black women. This is a conversation about ways that we can really pay attention to and nurture our own health through nutrition. If you don't know me already, I'm Dr. Kamani. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, a toxic job survivor, but more importantly, I'm a toxic job liberator for Black women. And I'm excited to have my Spelman sister with me again today. So I'm going to have Dr. Natasha introduce herself. And then we're going to get into a conversation about our health because we are often so busy taking care of other people that we might lose track of our own health. So, Dr. Natasha or Chef B, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes. How you doing, Kimani? Spellman. I love how you be representing Spellman. I just, I
Well,
just,
I do my best. I do my best.
I am Dr. Natasha Brewley, also known as Chef B, and that B stands for Be Empowered, Energized, and Engaged. I'm a plant-based, raw and plant-based chef, and also holistic health coach. I am also a toxic job survivor. All right.
So I've
So
interviewed you. Yes.
yeah, we talked about it and super
Mhm.
happy to be here because in this sort of next phase of my life, the work that I do now is really working with Black women who decide to stay in those spaces and
Mhm.
those who are entrepreneurs, so professionals,
Mhm.
entrepreneurs. I basically work with them to support them in their health and wellness journey,
Mhm.
particularly if they're looking to transition to living and being plant-based. All right.
Yeah.
Lifestyle minded, all of the things.
Yeah, yeah. And really when we think about our experience as Black women, there's a number of different stressors that we have to deal with. And so if you have your own business or if you're working a job, there's a lot of stresses that come along with that. So when we think about stress, stress can wreak a havoc on our mind, body, and soul. So with the Black women that you work with, can you speak a little bit in terms of ways that you have seen stress impact their lives?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, stress, I'm doing a lot of studying now just to expand some of my knowledge around how we can support our clients more. And one of the areas that I'm really focusing in on is gut health.
Mhm.
So when your stress levels are super high, it actually impacts the microbiome. And for those of you who don't know, the microbiome is really our immune center, which is it lives in our gut.
Mm.
75 to 80% of our immunity lies in our gut.
Wow.
And so people who are suffering from GERD or they're suffering from irritable bowel syndrome, irritable bowel disease,
Mhm.
SIBO, I mean, there's just a yeast, candida, a lot of these things are contributed to stress. And then
Mhm.
as a result of stress, the things that we do to manage the stress. So some people smoke, some people drink, some people eat. Actually, a lot of us eat
Mhm.
a lot of the wrong things. And
Mhm.
we're not sleeping properly. So
Right.
those things actually impact our stress levels tremendously. And
Mhm.
in the process, it throws our gut off and it throws our immune system off. All right.
Mm.
That's a huge way that stress impacts us. So just imagine if you're in a toxic job or you're just,
Mhm.
in a environment where you're just overstressed.
Mhm.
um, you're just making very poor decisions in regards to the foods that you need to nourish your body.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm. And
Um,
you're more at risk to get sick.
yeah, absolutely. More at risk to get sick because if you're choosing foods that aren't nurturing you,
Mhm.
nourishing you, then
Mhm.
more than likely you're choosing the foods that will harm you.
Mm.
If you're not eating life-giving foods,
Mhm.
you're eating life-taking foods,
Oh.
you're gonna get sick. You just will eventually, you know?
Mm. So life-giving versus life-taking foods.
Absolutely, yes.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Now, I know we talked about this before, Chef B, but I think it's important to really help the audience too, because I was confused. So, because you said plant-based and you're not saying vegan, because I thought vegan and plant-based were the same thing. So, can you distinguish between vegan and plant-based?
Absolutely. So, I mean, there's really a spectrum, I think now, because there are more people who are trying to figure out
Hmm.
where they are in terms of lifestyle, food
Hmm.
choices, etc.
Hmm.
But if we go to vegetarian are people who definitely eat plants, but they might also eat dairy. So they might be eating butter, they might be eating cheese, they might be eating eggs, things of that nature. And
Mhm.
there's some variation with folks who are vegetarian.
Mm.
Then when we get to veganism, veganism is really, you have decided to really take animals out of the equation in regards to how you think about food and the foods that you choose to nourish your body. So
Mm.
folks who are vegan wouldn't eat honey.
Mhm.
Folks who are vegan are not choosing anything that has been produced by another living creature. All right.
Mm.
They're only choosing plants, and there are variations of that. Some people are fruitarians. Some people, don't eat nuts. They eat seeds. Some people, they don't drink water, regular water. They'll drink coconut water. So there's so many variations, and so people, it can get confusing. And I think
Mhm.
that's one of the things, right? That as
Mhm.
people journey in this space, you have to figure out what works for you. Um,
Mm.
a new language that's kind of coming up now is plant positive eating, plant forward eating. And I
Mm.
actually like that because it doesn't focus on what you're not eating. It
Mhm.
focuses on plants, right? And as long as you have that on your plate and you
Mhm.
can really highlight that on your plate,
Mhm.
fine. And I've always said, and I don't know if I mentioned it in our last conversation together, I really believe that it's all about bio individuality. And for those of you who don't know what that is, that just means that the things that are good for Kimani to eat, Dr. Kimani to eat, might be different than what Chef B will eat.
Mm.
Our bodies are different, our backgrounds are different, our
Mhm.
cultural norms are different, our
Mhm.
spiritual practices are different, and thus we need different things to nourish us.
Mm.
So with that, if we take those positions, then there's no judgment
Mhm.
involved because
Mhm.
we need different things to sustain us.
Mhm.
And so I really believe in bio individuality. And I also believe in just, being compassionate and non judgmental as you journey in this space.
And how would somebody find out what foods work best for them and what foods do not? Do you have any guidance about how people can go about learning that?
Yeah, absolutely. There are different kinds of doctors that can support you on this. So
Hmm.
you have your traditional Western doctor, a allopathic trained
Mhm.
doctor. And
Mhm.
then you also have a naturopathic doctor. You have a integrative physician. So they're a medical doctor, but they choose to sort of extend their practice, their knowledge to incorporate a lot of different um, medical sort of theoretical perspectives. So
Mhm.
Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, also with Western medicine. So
Mhm.
that's an integrative physician. And then there's also your functional physician, your functional medicine physician. Now,
Mhm.
this is important because doctors, depending on the kind of doctor that you're working with, they're going to look for different things when they're working with you. All
Mm.
right. A medical doctor, they're looking to not necessarily treat the root cause. They're just usually trying to medicate you, and, patch things up,
Mhm.
fix you in that way. But when you move more to the integrative or a functional medicine doctor, those doctors are really trying to get at the root cause of why you're experiencing the dis-ease that you're experiencing.
Mhm.
And so if you're looking to figure out, okay, why do I sneeze every time I eat such and such and such and such and such and such? I don't know what is happening when I eat this particular thing.
Mhm.
You can go to an integrative doctor or you can go to a functional medicine doctor, and
Mm.
they will work closely with you to figure out how you would uncover those things that are actually, really causing you some health issues.
Hmm.
And so I think ultimately that's one approach.
Mhm.
The other approach is, how do you feel? We always have to think about how we feel. And that's why it's so important to slow down when we're eating.
Mhm. Mm.
Now when we're just sort of, in the process of life,
Mm-hmm.
think about, okay, how am I feeling in my body?
Mm-hmm.
Hence, when I eat certain things, do I feel lethargic?
Mm.
Do I, get an upset stomach? We
Mm-hmm.
don't often slow down enough to really evaluate what we're feeling.
Mm.
So that's how we're missing things for ourselves because we're just moving. We're just
Yeah.
moving.
That's such a good point because I think a lot of us eat on the go because we're so busy. So if you're moving all the time, it's really hard to keep track of how am I feeling after I eat this because you running, so you're not paying attention to that. And so, how would somebody find an integrative or functional doctor? How would they even find that?
What you can do, I mean, I can definitely share some of the folks that I know.
Hmm.
I know quite a few, so we can definitely provide some resources for them.
Okay.
But I do think that you can actually just, in your particular state, look for integrative medicine physicians or a functional medicine doctor, holistic doctor. Those are some of the key words that you would look for when you search.
Ah,
Holistic care, and they're usually private practices.
hmm.
You're not always going to find an integrative doctor that's at, your hospital.
Right.
They're going to have a private practice because their work is very revolutionary.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, doesn't necessarily they're not always covered by insurance either.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So some research and possibly an investment.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. 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 So, Chef B, can you share with the audience how did you get on this journey in terms of healthier eating? Were you always this way, or how did you come to be like this?
So, I'm from Brooklyn, originally from Guyana, and I was just talking to someone about this recently. I think when you leave home, you're able to truly be the person you want to be. It gives you an opportunity to start being, truly
Mm-hmm.
being.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was really influenced quite a bit by hip hop music, Caribbean music. And if you really listen to some of the early music, it's very conscious. Karis One, Tribe Called Quest,
Mm-hmm.
Fugees, very conscious, very uplifting, very really let's try to be better. Let's try to make our minds better. And the way we can make our minds better is by what we put in our bodies. Soul to Soul, I'm thinking about just all of that. That's the era that I'm from. And that was such a special era because when I left home, I came to Atlanta to go to Spelman, and there were all these other beautiful people like me, thinking and being just like me. I was just like, what is going on? This is dope. This is amazing. So actually, when I left home, we had already started giving things up in our home.
Hmm.
I remember my mom when I was 16 or 17, my mother for Lent, for those of you who practice Lent,
Mm-hmm.
that's a kind of like around the January, February time, you decide when you're gonna give up something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so some people do the Daniel fast, some people go, plant-based for a month or so to fast. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's wonderful. And for us in our home, we decided to give up beef.
Hmm.
And so that was literally my senior year of high school. We had
Mm-hmm.
already given up pork because my mom was just like, pork is nasty. We're not eating that no more,
Mm-hmm.
And so after we gave it up, I never went back to it.
Hmm.
Went back to it. So I was eating a little bit of chicken,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of plants. And when I moved to Atlanta, again, just being influenced by the time, influenced by the era that I was coming up in,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to really be who I wanted to be. And I was like, I don't really want to eat chicken like that no more. I just don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
So I really just stepped into a vegetarian. I was like a junk food vegetarian though, because
What's that?
I say I was a junk food vegetarian because like when we left campus, we would walk up to like towards the train station. Kimani knows what I'm talking
I
about.
remember Marta, yes.
There's
And
like a
I
there's
was it. Yes.
there's a Popeyes there, and then there's a Church's Chicken, and we wasn't eating the chicken. We was eating like the biscuits and the fries,
Ooh.
and ourselves being healthy, but you eating all this starch and carbs, you know? So we
Yes.
were leaving the chicken off, but like doubling up on the starch and the carbs.
Mm.
And I
Mm.
didn't know, but later on I realized, oh, that's not healthy. That's not what you want,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that said, just like I think you start somewhere, and then I was grateful because I was amongst good friends who were very much like me. One
Mm.
of my best friends at the time had locks. I'd never known anybody personally that had locks. She
Mhm.
was real conscious. She was vegetarian. So I think that influenced me too in
Okay.
staying vegetarian, you
Okay.
know?
Okay.
We lived together, and then we also lived with another young lady. She was vegan because she had digestive issues. So she
Mm.
had to be because there was a history of colon issues in her family.
Mm.
And so she had to, at a very young age, start really thinking about her health and
Mhm.
her gut based on what we was talking about.
Mhm.
Because like people were getting colon cancer and all this other stuff in her family.
Mhm. Mhm.
She did a drastic change. So she was vegan. She was very restrictive with her diet.
Hmm.
Those were my roommates. And
Wow.
I never thought about it before until now. I was like, "Damn, how was I vegan, vegetarian in college?"
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, so you were exposed to that. Your
Yeah,
friends
my
around you.
friends,
Okay.
my fr
Okay.
my tight friends.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
worked at a salad place. There was a spot here called Let It Surprise You. I was
Oh
there.
my God, I used to love that place. Oh my God, I was there all the
I
time.
worked there, Kimani.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yes.
Woo,
Yeah.
I love that place. Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
So the other thing was, y'all, those of you who are listening, back then and still now, I challenge anyone who says that plant-based eating is very expensive. Yes, food costs have gone up, but relatively speaking, when you think about meat and you think about just all the things that you pay for with, just the processed foods and all of that,
Mhm.
it's cheaper for you to make your own food
Mhm.
than go out to, a restaurant and buy a vegan
Mhm.
dinner. It's
Mhm.
cheaper for you to make it. It just
Right.
is.
Right.
So with that said, when I was in school, I
Mhm.
was on food stamps. I got $100 a month, and $100 was a lot of money back then.
Mhm.
So we got beans, we got dry beans, we got rice, and because we have this Caribbean background, we're making stews and curries. So we ate good.
Right. Good and healthy. Yes.
We ate good. And I was just
Mhm.
like, okay, yeah, I could do this. And just
Mhm.
continued. And so it really is around the community that you develop because later, as I stayed in Georgia, a lot of those people left, they moved out
Mhm.
of the state.
Mhm.
When I, continued pursuing my degrees and all of those things, I was around different people who were more meat eaters. I didn't ever go back to beef.
Okay.
But I did start, oh, let me have some chicken, let me have that, let me try it, let me have a little bit of fish, like, and it's okay.
Mhm.
I'm just talking to you about this now. It's
Mhm.
interesting how important it is for us to choose wisely our community if we're
Mhm.
really trying to figure out some of our health and wellness goals.
Yeah, and I think that being healthy or becoming healthy is a process,
Absolutely.
right? It was not just like, oh, all my friends are vegan, vegetarian. Now I'm eating healthy for the rest of my life. It's not necessarily that way.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yep.
And you can always get back on healthy eating. You don't have to feel like you fell off the train and you no way back.
Exactly, exactly. So,
Mhm.
yeah, it was just a beautiful time, and I found I feel like my sweet spot, in how I eat. I don't eat those things we talked about. I've really outgrown those tastes. I don't like the way some of those things taste anymore. You
Mhm.
know, and I enjoy eating plants. I enjoy what it does for my body. I enjoy how I feel. And I
Mhm.
think ultimately for anybody who's on a health and wellness journey, you gotta think about how you want to feel and how
Mhm.
you want to be
Mhm.
and how you want to, like grow and
Yeah.
age and all of those things. I'm about to be 51 years old. And,
Looking fabulous.
what did you say?
Looking fabulous. Looking fabulous. You know you look fabulous. Yes. You like what'd you say?
What was that?
But can you repeat
But
that?
I mean, just, the things that I'm able to do, I feel good about those decisions that I made around my
Mhm.
diet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shabi, did you tell me, and I don't know if I'm mixing this up, but I think that you told me that when you were in a stressful situation, like your eating was off and like you had to go to the doctor and all that. Can you share that? Because that's an example of a high stress situation that I
Yes.
think a lot of Black women can relate to. Can you share just a little bit about that too?
Yes. So I just shared, I think it was on our previous conversation. You guys should definitely go back to that live and
Mhm.
revisit it. It's beautiful. But when I was pregnant with my first child in graduate school, finishing up everything, starting a new job, new baby, you can imagine, right? Like, just there's a lot of things going on. And I was just making really poor food choices. I was eating McDonald's. I was like, me. I'm
Oh
like,
my
"What?"
God.
Yeah,
Woo!
I was eating, I'm
You
like,
went from vegan, vegetarian to all it's McDonald's.
I was
Wow.
like, well, let me try this thing. I was just giving myself permissions that I shouldn't have been giving myself permission about. And as a result of eating those things, pizza, just things that are just like we said, life-taking foods, man, did I suffer. Hypertension, blood pressure issues. I was obese. I was obese. I was over 200 pounds. Yes. Oh, I was
Wow. I cannot even see you like that.
221 pounds. I was big.
What?
I was a big girl. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. But I was depressed and I was feeling bad and I needed something to console me. And a lot of us eat that way, right? We're trying to get the pressure off. We don't want to drink. We don't want to smoke. We don't want to do drugs. So we eat. It feels good. It feels good. And we get in this cycle of eating to, like living to eat as opposed to eating to live.
Yes, a lot of comfort eating due to
A
stress. I
lot
think
of
a lot of
comfort
people can
eating.
relate to that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And,
Yep.
and so what happened to shift your eating to a more healthy way of eating? Again.
So I mean, I've always known that plants were the way to go, but I mean, it's just so transformative. When I was 42, pregnant, having my second child, and they were saying to me, "I'm gonna cut you again. I'm gonna do a C-section again." I was like, "Nope, I'm gonna show you, not me." And my good friend, who is an integrative physician, she's like, "They will cut you anyway. You can change the outcome. You can control this as much as you can by changing your diet. You gotta lock in." And I said, "What?" She's like, "You gotta lock in. You could do this. You could shift this whole thing." And I was like, "This is like the ultimate challenge." So the herbs, prayer, spiritual baths, happiness, joy, community when I was pregnant. Those are all foods. That's the other thing I want to say. We're not just talking about the food that you consume in your mouth. We're talking about the food that you get from your environment and your community and your mind. That's important too. Your mindset is probably one of the most important things that you need to shift in order to make a lifestyle change.
Agreed.
And
Agreed.
so in that, I was like, my goal is a vaginal birth. My goal is not to be cut. I'm going to do everything in my power to make that happen. And once I was able to accomplish that goal, we were able to accomplish that goal. Blood pressure issues, nope. No traumatic, nothing. It was just a beautiful pregnancy filled with love, support, all of the things. Taking things off my plate, saying no to things.
The
Doing
no
things we
boundaries.
really need to do, like the true self-love. True self-love.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to accomplish that goal. And I was like, man, these plants, if you just give these plants a chance, they will save your life.
Wow. So you were able to have a healthy pregnancy, a healthy birth, just like you wanted. And then after that, did you continue on your healthy eating
That's
from
where
that
I'm
point
at right now. That's what I do now. So, I mean, I had already started the journey of talking to people about this,
on?
but that cemented it. 42, baby.
And very healthy. It was a
What?
positive, healthy process for you.
It was
And so I'm thinking about, Shabi, as we talk about, 'cause you talked about the mental part, the mindset part is very important too. So as you're on this journey of healthy eating and promoting and supporting that for Black women, let's take a step back. What changes did you have to make in your own mindset or your life to then pivot to this journey you're on now with supporting the well-being of Black women?
First, I had to believe that it's possible. That's the biggest thing. I think sometimes when we're going through a crisis with our health, I think secretly, we don't always say it, but secretly, just a little bit, we could give up. We're giving up. And in us giving up, we continue choosing the things that we shouldn't choose. Okay? And so I had to, deep in my heart, believe that the outcomes and the things that I wanted and the way that I wanted to transform my health, I could actually do it. I didn't need medication. I just needed consistency. I needed to have goals. I needed to have systems in place for myself in order for me to accomplish those things. And
Okay.
so now those are the things that I talk about and I really try to work with people to do. So your
Mhm.
goals are great.
Yeah.
In order for you to accomplish your goals, you have to have systems.
Mhm.
If you don't have the systems, then the goals are just sort of these things that you talk about.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it sounds like you also made some major life changes in order for those goals to come to fruition, right? So you were previously, and I'm gonna put the video of me with Chef B talking about the toxic job experience in description section. But it sounds like part of it was pivoting from that toxic job
Absolutely.
and walking away from things that were not helping you grow. And so you were able to walk in a different path. And so I think that Black women, it's important for them to hear that sometimes when you're on a certain path that maybe you thought you were going to be on or you went to school for, because Chef B has a doctorate in mathematics. Is that correct?
Correct. Math
That okay,
education.
that's deep. That's deep, right? That's heavy. So most people who go through that dedication, all that to get a PhD in mathematics, don't end up on that path. So sometimes it's important to say, wait a minute, is the life I'm living working for me? And if not, let me
Right.
explore other options. Let me
Right.
invest in other things and pivot.
That's
Okay.
right.
So can we just talk a little bit about the pivot? Because I want Black women to hear this and I want them to know that the pivot is possible. Because I'll talk about my pivot and I have other Black women talking about it, but I want Black women to know and believe that they are able to pivot too. Can you share just a little bit about how you pivoted? And
Right.
then we'll talk a little bit about how you help other Black women.
Wonderful. So I was a higher education teacher for almost 3 decades. I started teaching when I was in my early 20s in graduate school and retired shy of me being 50. So long time, right? And the pivot came when I just started thinking about, the time I was spending trying to convince students that they needed to learn math and, learn it in a particular way. And it just didn't seem like it was working. It also came and it was important because the space that I was in, I don't think we weren't getting the value. We weren't getting the things that we needed to stay there. We weren't being valued. All right. We weren't being valued financially. And because of just all of the state regulations, when you teach at an institution, a higher ed institution, there's always this sort of fear of a budget cut, a furlough, something coming down the pipeline. And it can cause this sort of uneasiness where, on one side, you're like, you're not going to lose your job. But then, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, you might be out the door. And so for me, I just started thinking, particularly during COVID, like there's got to be a better use of my time. The amount of time I'm spending on the road trying to get to campus, 2 hours in traffic. I'm there all day. I might have two classes, but one is at 9 and the other one's at 6. So I have all this space in between. And people would say, oh, that's an easy schedule, but I don't want to be there. I want to be somewhere else. So I'm literally stuck on a campus or in an area because I don't want to go all the way home and come back, right? That doesn't make sense. But I'm doing things that isn't really the best use of the time that I want to spend for myself. And so for me, during the time that I was teaching, I really started exploring my own health and wellness and what I can do to be the best I could be. And in the process of doing that, that's when I discovered the work that I do now. And I'm like, this is the kind of education and teaching that I want to do. While I am so grateful for all of the experiences that I had teaching young people mathematics over the years, to me, it was like this new crisis. At one point, when I was thinking about being a mathematician, the crisis that I wanted to tackle was math was a gatekeeper. It was leaving people out of opportunities, Black children. And then I'm like, wait a minute, but this is a bigger crisis. People are losing their life because of their food choices
Yep.
and their lifestyle.
Yep.
And I'm like, if you don't have that, you can't do math, you can't do anything. And so for me, it was a bigger issue that I really wanted to tackle. And so I was actually doing both things. I would do demos, like chef demos, started doing that for an organization. Just slowly started doing things to try to figure out what it is that I wanted to do while teaching. And opportunities were landing in my lap. So that's an opportunity too for you to kind of figure out, do I want to be in this lane? Do I want to be in this lane? Like, where do I want to be? And the education piece is definitely one of the areas that I'm in that I absolutely love.
Right.
Then the meals, and then really helping people to eat really good, healthy food. I think that that's important. One of the reasons why I think it's important is because I come from a third world country where I know people don't get access to really good quality food. And so for me, it's like you start asking yourself questions. What do you value? And that's one of the things that I value. I feel like people need to have a good plate of food that's
Yeah.
healthy and nourishing. And
Yeah.
I
Like you
want
said, food that sustains you and prolongs your life as opposed to
absolutely.
food that takes away
Yeah,
from your life or your health.
absolutely. And so
Yeah.
I'm glad that I came to the work.
Mhm.
And so I was grateful because, we became really good at what we were doing in the business. And so I was able to choose, do I want to stay in the educational realm of teaching kids math? Or do I want to really, as you said, pivot and move in this space? And looking at the two, I was able to do well in that space of the health and wellness work. And so it's like, give it a shot. You could always go back to this other thing in the way that feels good and makes sense. But you got to at least try this new thing. There's something here. There's something here that you need to explore because it's not like you're spinning your wheels and nothing's happening. This thing is growing.
Yeah. Like you said, like sometimes when you pivot and you do something that is more aligned to what you feel drawn to do, opportunities start coming your way. And so it's kind of like, okay, I'm paying attention to this, I'm going to go in that direction. So, can you share with the audience what are some of the ways that you help Black women heal from the inside out and support their wellness from the inside out?
Yes. So one of the ways I mentioned earlier is through eating plant-based foods. And we do that in a number of ways. We definitely provide weekly meal prep for folks who just are busy and they aren't able to navigate in the kitchen the way they would like to. And so we provide, it's called Essential Meals to Go, so a plant-based meal prep. And we do international inspired cuisine for folks on the go, Black women, professionals, entrepreneurs. The other thing that we offer folks are cleanses because, it's so interesting, Kimani, as people are really figuring out where they are, we found that when you're really trying to change your diet, it's almost like you need to kind of have you kind of clear house. You need to have like spring cleaning or fall cleaning. So we call that the palate reset. You need to reset your palate because your palate is so used to you eating junk. You're trying to eat plant-based, you're trying to eat different. You're going to be like, this don't taste good. Well, it don't taste good because your palate is jacked up and you need to cleanse your palate so that you can have a different kind of experience with your food. So we do cleanses.
Mm-hmm.
And recently we launched our community called the Healing Me First with Chef Bee Community because we know that people are really trying to get that knowledge ongoing to
Mm-hmm.
support their health and wellness. So
Mm-hmm.
this gives people an opportunity to, get cooking classes. This gives them an opportunity to get the knowledge that they need for supporting gut health, essential oils, learning how to do that, just learning how to address their specific concerns and issues.
Mm-hmm. Is this that's the information on the screen? I
Yep.
put there, is that the correct? Okay. So the palate reset. And when we talk about Black women, we talk about stress that we often encounter. And because of the stress and because we're often juggling so many different things, we eat on the go, or our health kind of falls by the wayside. And we kind of say, well, I'll take care of that later, or Monday I'll start that diet or whatever, right? We say all these different things to ourselves. But what are your thoughts about this in terms of Black women being so busy, feeling that we don't have the time, we don't have the energy, we're too tired to cook, so we just pick up something along the way or pick up something that might be convenient, but it's really harming us. So what are your thoughts about that?
Well, what happens is this. Unfortunately, everyone has their come to Jesus or come to ancestors moment where the avoidance and the putting off
Mhm.
has to come to a stop because there's some chronic health issue that's right in front of you and you have to make a decision.
Mhm.
And so you can either pay for it now or you could pay for it later.
Mm.
Period. Right?
Mhm.
And so I would tell folks, just try, like you got to try something. You got to make a step. You got to do some little thing.
Mhm.
And the first little thing that you can do is you can start watching YouTube videos where you're learning about different healthy recipes or things that you can, like natural things you can do, simple things you can do to address whatever concern that you have. Start there, start educating yourself. You know, the first action, the first point of action is education, acknowledgement that there is an issue. And then from there, you might want to seek consultation with someone who can help you to see what kind of services they offer. So all of these things are like slow, right? We know that they're slow, but it's a step in the direction that we need to go. Because in a lot of cases, people are scared, Kimani. They're afraid of, well, the unknown, right? Well, what if this? What is that? But the reality is if you don't take action and support your health and wellness, you're gonna pay for it now or you're gonna pay for it later.
True, true. And part of the issue too that I want us to kind of demonstrate for Black women is I'm so busy, I don't have time to go to the store. I got to buy a whole bunch of stuff to eat healthy. And so what I wanted Chef B to do was actually demonstrate with things that you may have already in your refrigerator, how easy it is to make a healthy snack. So again, this is for Black women when you're on the go and you feel like you don't have any time to do some. Chef Bee's going to demonstrate for us right now in real time what this looks like. So she's going to maneuver her camera a little bit,
Yep.
and you're going to actually see her create a healthy snack. So maybe something that you can do for yourself.
All right, Dr. Kimani, can you see?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, beautiful. All right, so I'm going to just show you what I grabbed out of my refrigerator. Because I was telling Dr. Kimani right before we got on here, I was like, girl, I'm about to do something scrappy. She's like, what you mean? Scrappy. I said, oh no, it's going to make sense. But I said scrappy because today was busy. It was a very busy day. I had a lot going on. My schedule got changed a little bit. And I was going to go to the store and get all this. I was like, no, that's not really what's happening for people. We're basically just trying to pull things together, right? So I grabbed some broccoli. I grabbed a tomato. I grabbed an avocado. And look how trifling this onion look, but it's still good. And I grabbed this little scrappy looking onion, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to make our scrappy avocado toast. A lot of people love avocado toast. Do you like avocado toast?
Honestly, I'm no, I haven't. No.
Do you not like avocados?
Not really.
What?
No, not really. I mean, I like them if they're cooked, but not really. No.
Cooked avocados?
Yeah, you know, if it's in a soup or something. Yeah, but girl, no. I got to work up to that.
Oh Lord! All right, so this is for the people who love them some avocados, but I'm going to give you some other options, even if you don't like avocados. Do you like hummus?
Oh my gosh, no. I'm an extremely picky eater. Okay. So nobody don't look at what I'm saying. I don't like it, okay? I'm an exception. Okay.
All right. So a lot of people like avocado and they like hummus and they like you can do this with whatever. All right. I'm not using a lot of ingredients. So what I'm doing here is I'm cutting up some onions. Y'all saw that. Just a little bit of onions. I'm adding it to the bowl. And then I'm going to cut up this tomato. Right? Cut up this tomato. Do you like tomatoes, Kimani?
I do like tomatoes and I like onions too.
All right, good. So take the avocados out and just do this with tomatoes and onions, okay? Choose the things that you like. So here's what I like to tell people when I'm doing demos. You know, like the recipe that might be talked about in that moment, it's just inspiration. It's just for you to think about something different, okay? Even if you don't like it, don't shy away from it. Just always think positively. Well, what could I put instead? I don't like avocados, but what do I like? How can I make this Kimani-fied? You know, how can I Kimani-fy this dish? You know, you gotta say that. You know, you gotta always think that way. Because if you just like, I don't like that, I don't like that. I'm not saying y'all on here are saying that. Then you can stay overwhelmed. But you got to focus on what you do like and what you enjoy. And then from there, you can rock and roll, right? So far, so good, right? All I did was cut up a little bit of onion because I like onions in my avocado. I just do. And I just took one whole tomato and I'm cutting it up and I'm putting it inside the bowl. Everything's going in this little bowl here. All right, so everything's in. And then I also wanted to talk a little bit about just your plate, right? What constitutes a healthy plate? Well, there are 4 things that should be on your plate. Y'all know what the 4 things are? Dr. Kimani, you know what 4 things need to be on your plate?
Oh my gosh, you quizzing me? Okay.
From a nutrition standpoint, what you think?
Vegetables.
So this is the broccoli. Just so you know, I'm just taking a little bit of the broccoli and cutting it up. Not all of it, just a little bit, couple florets. Go on, Dr. Kimani. Let's see what you got, girl.
Oh God, grain, some type of grain.
Okay.
Some type of protein.
Okay.
and a small, small, small amount of fat.
Ooh.
All right.
I'm so proud of you. Good job.
I felt a little stressed under pressure, but I'm glad I got it.
So it's fiber. So half your plate should be fiber. And then think about the other half, and we're going to break the other half of the plate into thirds. So a third of the other half, which is a sixth of the plate, should be protein. Another sixth should be fat, as you stated. And then the other sixth should be carbohydrates, like a carb. Okay. So if you eat like that all the time, you should be good. All right, y'all, look at this. It's coming together real nice. Okay. I'm happy so far. So yeah, that's a balanced plate. We always want to rock with the balanced plate. I'm going to put this here for a minute. And I'm just taking my knife and I'm running it around my avocado, twisting real fast. And then I'm going to cut the avocado. Show y'all this. We're cutting the avocado into small pieces and then we're going to scoop it out. Okay. I know I got a spoon here. Yes. All right. So I'm going to bring this back and we're going to spoon this out just like so. Doesn't that look good?
It does.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to do the other half. So Dr. Kimani, as you're looking at this, you don't like the avocado. What would you put in place of the avocado? Anything that you like?
It has to be a vegetable.
It could be whatever. It could be whatever.
Oh, it could be whatever.
Yeah, something that you keep in your fridge all the time. That's the other thing. We keep avocados in the house, tomatoes in the house. These are items that we always can grab. So
maybe kale.
Some kale. That's amazing. All right. Good. Now look what I'm going to also add. I found a little bit of this. Y'all know what this is? It's Goddess Dressing. It's so good. It's like a tahini dressing and it's amazing. So I'm going to add this. You can add, a little bit of olive oil if you want to, but there's no need because the avocado itself is the fat. And then look what I'm doing, Dr. Kimani. Look what I'm doing here. So I'm curious, anyone who's watching, you guys share also what other things you would add too. Okay.
I see somebody say I add sardines to my avocados.
Ooh, that sounds amazing. Okay. I love that. All right. Now look what I'm going to do. We got the little goddess dressing in there. I'm going to add a little bit of this, some nutritional yeast, just a little bit. Dr. Kimani, you seen that before?
What is that for?
So it just gives it like a nice cheesy taste, but it has a B12 in it. The B12 is in it. And so it's a nice alternative that's non-dairy. If you're trying to get like that cheesy flavor in your food. So it's called nutritional yeast.
Okay.
All right. So look, this thing coming together. All right. So look, this is my mixture. How many minutes we did that in so far, Kimani?
Oh, that was less than 5, I think.
Girl, do you see what I'm saying? All right, now bam. Bam, I got the toast. You see this?
Yeah.
I toasted my bread. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread it out. So this is my SCRAPY avocado toast. SCRAPY avocado toast. Okay.
I see someone else said I would add some walnuts too.
Walnuts.
And then a question came in. Does she ever make her own tahini? Because these prices, I'm about to buy the sesame seeds myself.
Girl, look, I sure do. But I just had some. Again, I'm telling you what I found in my fridge, right? So yeah, I make my tahini by hand. I sure do. But somebody in the house bought that goddess dressing. So, shoot, I'll be adding water to it and stretching it, the whole thing. I know these prices are crazy, particularly for dressing. I'm with you.
Oh, and I see somebody said that looks good. They like what you're making.
What? Y'all like what I'm making over here?
Yeah,
I ain't
yeah.
done yet, though.
I
I ain't
see,
done yet.
somebody else said they would add lemon juice and black pepper, and then
Ooh.
somebody else said, "I love nutritional yeast."
All right, so look what else. I'm gonna pull this off to the side for a second and show you
Okay.
what else I got. I'm gonna add this. So I just had an event I just came from. So, I took some of the lettuce. I was like, y'all ain't throwing away that lettuce. We gonna eat that lettuce. Y'all see this? So
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna put some lettuce, some shredded lettuce on top. So let me push that to the side and bring this back.
Mhm.
Y'all, I'm excited about eating this, just so you know. I'm excited about eating it. And then I'm gonna pull some of the shredded carrots that's at
Mhm.
the bottom of the bag so that I can, get some color. And I got some cucumbers down there too. So look at that.
Oh, somebody's asking, what type of bread are you using?
So this is a whole grain bread. What's the name of that? It's it's just a whole grain sprouted wheat bread,
Okay.
which is really good. Like the Ezekiel breads.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if you know that brand, but Ezekiel bread, they're sprouted grains. They use some of the ancient grains. And so it's not like the traditional bread that you get at like Walmart or whatever. These
Mhm.
breads are in like the frozen section at your
Mm.
grocery store. So
Okay.
you can keep them in your freezer, and then as you need them, you can pull them out.
Okay, I see another comment. Thank you. Good to know. This is giving me some ideas. I would probably splash some coconut aminos
Ah,
too.
so I'm gonna bring this back up. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring this back up. Wasn't
And
that
voila.
cute?
And
Wasn't
voila.
that cute?
So it doesn't look scrappy, but I see what you're saying in terms of you were able to use things that you already had in your refrigerator. And that's
Listen,
good to show Black women that you could just pull whatever you got. Don't feel like you got to go to the grocery store necessarily.
yep. And look, let me tell you, my husband would say this is gourmet if he's still on here because he was on here earlier.
Uh-huh.
I want the gourmet, the ghetto gourmet. Okay, I want the ghetto gourmet. So look, this is ghetto gourmet because this is fancy. When you go to these hotels, they charge you $15 for something like this, and it's not even this nice
Right.
for avocado
Right.
toast. Okay,
Yes.
they're not giving you the highlight, the fancy schmancy schmancy.
Yes.
This though, delicious. Okay, so
Yes.
it has a lot of flavor. I love some of the things that you suggested that we add to it.
Mhm.
Beautiful, beautiful,
Yeah, and
beautiful.
I see Viola. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. Okay. So that looks good. Okay. So Chef B, can you please share with the audience about everything that you offer, all the ways that you can support Black women? Talk about your YouTube channel, talk about your meal delivery, your meal prep, your membership. You have so many different things to offer Black women. So please share everything you got.
Woo, girl. We're gonna drop that YouTube. Y'all go to YouTube, search Chef B with 3 E's. I'm actually putting
The
the
link.
name in there.
Okay.
We can type the link and give it to them. But y'all, we have our new community on school called Healing Me First with Chef B. And in that community, my goal is to help you to heal yourself because really the healing comes from within, not from outside. All right.
Mhm. Mhm.
And you'll get education, you'll have a community, you'll have me supporting you, helping you to access what it is that you need. You can get your questions answered. We do a live cooking class monthly, and it's a new community. So I am absolutely open to you telling me, okay, this is what I would like to see in this community. That's the
Mhm.
beautiful thing about communities that are just, starting.
Mhm.
We don't want to lay everything out. We have in mind what we want to do, but we also want to hear from the folks so
Mhm.
that we know how to build it. And
Mhm.
so if you're looking to really take your health and wellness to the next level, you're a busy person, a busy Black woman and you really want the support, you can come to the Healing Me First with Chef Bee community and you'll
Mhm.
get that support. So that's one.
Mhm.
If you're still like, oh, I don't know, I need help with these meals, baby. I need you to cook for me, Chef B. I need some of that, get that scrappy avocado toast. Then you can definitely, absolutely get support with the healthy meals. We do essential meals to go, plant-based meal prep. And the website is essential meals, the number 2 go. We'll add that as well to
Mhm.
all of the, into the caption. So you can get
Mhm.
that. We do coaching. We also do cleanses, the palate reset. And I think it's important for people to do cleanses at least once a year, at the
Mhm.
very least once a year. But if you're really on it every season, as the seasons change, every season change because
Mhm.
the food is different, the weather's different, you're different. It's like shedding. If you think about like how a snake sheds their skin,
Mhm.
it's really important to shed your skin of that season and prepare for the next season. So
Hmm.
you do the palate reset, and you can get all your food done for you. You get all the cleansing herbs, the snacks. All you have to do is show up and eat the food and just be ready for the transformation. We do that heavy lifting for you because we
Okay.
know that that's really challenging for a lot of people. All right.
Okay. And the meal prep, is that only if you live in the area? Is it where any limitations about the meal prep in terms of delivery?
No, we ship nationwide. So we get your meals to you wherever you are, uh,
Mhm.
freeze them, and then we ship them. All right. So I
Oh,
just
awesome.
sent the link to Essential Meals to Go. And
Okay.
then we also have the link, the palette reset. You can check that out if you're interested in, getting a cleanse. We've
Mhm.
also given you the community, Healing Me First with Chef B. Please make sure that you guys go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. If you want to stay connected, I do a lot of juice recipes on there. People really like juicing these days.
Hmm.
And they're asking, I want juice recipes, Chef B. And
Mhm.
I show you how to juice without a big fancy juicer. I show you
Ah,
how to do it with the big fancy because not everybody can afford to, you know what I'm saying? Like they can't
yeah.
afford to subscribe to these 600, $700.
Well, it's kind of back to what you said before about you're trying to help people access, particularly Black people access healthy ways of eating, and it shouldn't have to, like, oh, if you can't afford this certain mixer or blender, you can't have it. But you're finding ways to help us heal without necessarily breaking the bank.
Exactly. Yeah. So I show you how to do it. We got the juicer, we got the blender. I show you what to do so that you can get some high quality juice out,
Mhm.
along with all the scrappy things that you can do in the kitchen. So I don't believe in wasting a lot. So
Ah,
I'm always repurposing meals. So you'll see that on the channel as well. We had the Healing Me First uh, YouTube podcast, and Kimani was on there, right?
yes, it was. Yes, yes,
So
I
those episodes are on there as well. So just a lot of great information for you to access on the
Mhm.
YouTube channel and to get to know me.
Mhm.
And I think those are some really great ways that folks can connect with us
Yeah.
and see what we're up to.
And so the membership starts when?
So
This
October 15th is when we launch. We have a few people in there already who are in our cooking program.
okay.
However, yes, you guys can check it out. There is a video on YouTube talking about the membership. And so if you are interested in really getting your health on track, please come on over to the Healing Me First with Chef B community
Mhm.
and we'll get you right. We'll get you right.
Awesome. I see somebody subscribed already to your YouTube channel, which is
Yeah.
excellent.
Thank you
Everybody,
so
please
much.
subscribe to her YouTube channel, which we had up. And you mentioned coaching. What type of coaching do you offer too?
So we have the Healing Me First coaching program, which is a 4-month program. And, you absolutely can renew and stay with us a little bit longer. But one of the things I've realized is when people are seeking out a coach, they usually have that one-on-one relationship, but they really need the team. So
Mm,
we work with a medical integrated physician You
Mhm.
get me, a health coach, and a chef, and then you also get a dietitian. And so in that process, you're learning, okay, what do I need? So there is a full consultation with the doctor. You
Mhm.
also get full blood panel, and
Ooh.
they're looking for different things than your regular allopathic doctor that they would look
Mhm.
for. The integrative physician would be looking for something a little bit different. Okay.
Ah.
And so once we find out what challenges you might have, then you get your care plan, you figure out, okay, this is how I need to be eating, these are the supplements that I need, these are the things that are going to help me to get restored. And then in the process, me as the health coach will support you along the way. If you need support with your meals, we can offer that. And then the dietitian, because I work with the RD, they're giving you the substitutions. They're telling you, based on what's going on in the gut or what came up in those labs, these are the things that you need to stay away from. Let's customize a meal plan for you because everyone needs that. And so, I really feel like when people are really working to take back their health, they need the wellness squad. It can't just be you doing this stuff by yourself. You need a squad. You know what I mean?
I agree. And Dr. Chevy, um, do you also have a wellness space?
Yes.
Can
So
you please share about that
we have
too?
the Healing Me First Wellness Center that's located in Duluth, Georgia. So if you're in the Atlanta area, you can come up there and we can do cooking classes. You can have a consultation with me right there at the Wellness Center. So what we also do at the Wellness Center is we do our YouTube videos and also our, just everything really. So consults, YouTube videos to show you how to cook healthily. We do some of our production work in regards to the food. So just so many different things. So it's a really beautiful space. I'm really excited that I have it. And, just looking forward to inviting folks there and more people coming so that they can use that space to, heal their bodies.
Yeah. And how would they find out about the wellness space, or how could they reserve it, or how could they get more information about it?
All right, girl, look, I got so many websites today.
You got so much to give. So
Oh
many resources to
my
help
gosh.
us.
I love it. So we have the healingmefirst.com. Go there. And that is the information about the wellness center. So I just dropped all those links. And I see another person subscribed to the YouTube channel. So thank you so much for that.
That is excellent. So everyone, thank you so much for watching today. And you got a cooking demonstration. I never did that before, Chef
That was
B.
fun, right, girl?
Yes, that was fresh and new, right?
Girl, look, let me look. I'm gonna taste it. We gotta taste it, y'all. Look at this. Look how pretty it look. Look. Oh
It's
yeah.
delish. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. So everybody, you got a new recipe to do. Okay. So check out Chef B. I will put all her information. I'll put it on the screen, but I'll also put all her information in the description section as well. Make sure you subscribe to her channel. Make sure you get into that membership, okay, which is coming up. So you can start healing from the inside out. And also in terms of mindset, just a brief announcement. I see thank yous. Just a brief announcement as well. Thank you, Dr. K and Chef B. Thank you for watching. That Mercer Price and I have a 2-part masterclass coming up. So October 20th is how to get ready to leave a toxic job. And then October 27th is how to heal from a toxic job after you leave, okay? So all that information will be in the description section as well. Thank you again, everyone, for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video with at least 2 other Black women. Subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Chef B's channel, and we will see you later. Any last words you want to share, Chef B, before we finish today?
Oh man. Just thank you so much for this platform, Kimani. I love what you're doing.
Thank
For the ladies out here who are listening, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to leave a situation that is not serving you well. Trust me, having the courage to step out there and leap, that is, like there's so much that is waiting for you.
Mhm.
So just don't be afraid. Leap, and trust me, you'll be caught. You're not
Oh,
going to just leap, just have faith, just leap. You will
yeah.
not be, yeah, you'll be caught. You'll be
Yes,
fine.
yes, I agree with that, and I'm sorry, I saw some comments I forgot to read. "Hey, Chef B, toxic job survivor, your help is very much needed." Okay, so check her out. Check me out too. This is great. Thank you, Spelman Sisters, for this session. There's a wonderful lifestyle. Yes, thank you. Doctor here in Atlanta, there's a good lifestyle doctor in Atlanta named Dr. Jennifer Rook, I think her name is. She teaches the principle of leading a plant-based lifestyle.
Mhm.
Okay, good resource. Okay. So again, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, share this with 2 other Black women, subscribe, get everything we talked about, okay? And again,
Yes.
I want to thank my Spelman sister,
Yeah.
Chef B, for being my guest again. I will put the interview that I had with her previously about leaving a toxic job in the description section. So check that out as well. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. Chef B, if you could just stay on for a moment. Bye, everyone.